Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes of Israel. Today I'm going to deal with a topic called Fear of the Lord. Fear of the Lord. Now, this is a topic that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I haven't had the chance to do it. But today I'm going to deal with this topic called Fear of the Lord. Now, when we're looking for a spouse, in particular, if a woman is looking for a spouse, the world would always say to her, oh, you need to be looking for a man with means. You need to be looking for a man with cash. You need to be looking for a man with businesses, a man who has a top paying job, someone who has a good bank account, has a nice car, nice house. You need to be looking for a man that can give you that security, right? So very often what the world will say to you is that you need to be looking for the money. The money is the crucial thing. But when we look into the world, we see a lot of hip hop stars that are very rich. We see a lot of R&B stars that are very rich. We see a lot of people that do despicable things like strippers being rich. We see people who do despicable things online, basically selling their soul to the devil, say the most vilest things online and the most scandalous. People have gossiping videos on YouTube, and they make a lot of money, right? Now, does that mean that that's the type of person that you need to be looking for? Anybody that just has cash, they may come to you with a sweet tongue, but you're supposed to be going for them because they have cash, they have the means, they've cracked that all-time code of how do you make it? How do you make the money? How do you make the money to get the riches of the world? They've cracked it. Does that mean that we are supposed to encourage our sisters and our daughters to marry men who make money from horrible means? Are we supposed to encourage our daughters to marry men simply because they have lots of money, right? They have lots of money so they can give them lots of security. Is that what we're supposed to do? No. When we are looking for a spouse, whether you're a man looking for a woman or a woman looking for a man, what we should be looking for is someone that fears the Lord. Because when someone fears the Lord, it covers everything. Because the fear in itself of the Lord, of the wrath of the Lord, means that you do good. It means that you behave righteously. It means that you're going to treat the other person in a righteous way, in a fair way, in a loving way, in a kind way, in the way in which God intended that you to treat your brother and your sister or your wife or your husband. You're going to do what you're supposed to do in those relationships because you fear the Lord. But also the fear of the Lord seeps into everything, really. Because once you fear the Lord, you are going to 9 times out of 10, or is a higher probability, you are going to act righteous in the way how you treat your brothers and sisters, in the way how you treat your elders. You are going to treat them with fairness and with dignity, and you are not going to do them wrong because you fear the Lord. And fearing the Lord simply means that God exists. You've seen God's hand in your life. God has spoken to you on many occasions, laid it on your heart on many occasions, have shown you quite a lot of things, and you can see the relationship between God and yourself, right? You could see the relationship growing between the both of you, and you could see the things that God, the Most High, hates and the Most High loves, right? And obviously, if God is the all-seeing God and He's the all-powerful God, then you want to do what is righteous, right? You want to do whatever it takes to please Him, because displeasing Him means that your relationship is going to go down the pan, right? It's going to go down the drain, right? You're not going to have a great relationship with the Most High. And when you're further and further away from the Most High, it means that you are steeped in sin and anything can happen. The devil can walk in and destroy you, right? So, having said all of that, let's go to the scriptures. So we're going to go to Proverbs 14. So we're going to deal with fear of the Lord, and we're going to deal with a lot of the characteristics around fearing the Lord, right? So we're just going to deal with scriptures, go through scriptures and give edification. So we're going to go to Proverbs 14, and we're going to read from 26 to 27. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. So let's read it again. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence. So when you fear the Lord, you have strong confidence, right? You have security when you fear the Lord. And his children shall have a place of refuge. You're very confident that the Lord will always see you through. No matter what circumstances happen to you, the Lord would always see you through. He always protect you and take care of you. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death, right? So the fear of the Lord is understanding, is wisdom, right? To depart from the snares of death. So you no longer dying spiritually, you're no longer dead spiritually, you are now have life, right? The Spirit has now given you life, and ultimately you will never taste death, right? You would never taste death in terms of being lost from God, right? Being so far away from God that you're under the authority of Satan himself, right? So when you fear the Lord, it covers all of that, right? So let's go to Proverbs 13:13. So we're going to stay in Proverbs, and we're going to go to Proverbs 13:13. Whoso despised the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. So whoso despised the word shall be destroyed. So if you despise the word of God, you will be destroyed. You shall be destroyed, right? So it may not happen quickly, but eventually you will be destroyed. But he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. So if you fear it, and if you fear it, the commandment shall be rewarded. Okay, so if you adhere to the commandment of God, then it means that you fear the Most High. So if you follow the commandments of God, obviously we're under Christ, so we're following the commandments of Christ. We're under a brand new contract, so we are following the commandments of Christ, and we are obeying the righteousness of the law, right? So it says, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. Let's read 14. The law of the wise is the fountain of life. So here's that word fountain again, is the fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death, right? So there it is again, right? So there it is again. It's saying the law of the wise is the fountain of life. So if you follow in the law, it gives you wisdom, right? It's the law of the wise, and it's the fountain of life. It's how you give your life, basically you give your spirit life, right? To depart from the snares of death. So now you're no longer dead spiritually, okay? So let's now go to Proverbs. Let's stay in Proverbs, and we're going to go to Proverbs 9:10, and then we're going to go to Psalms. So we're going to stay in Proverbs for the next couple of scriptures, and then we'll go to Psalms. So let's go to Proverbs 9:10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. For thou be wise, and thou shall be wise for thyself. But if thou scornest, thou alone shall bear it. Right? So now we're going to read on to 18, right? But let's go back up to 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So once you fear the Lord, that's when the wisdom kicks in. That's when the life kicks in. And the knowledge of the holy is understanding. So the wisdom is the understanding, right? For by me thy days shall be multiplied. So when you have the fear of the Lord, your days will be multiplied. You will live a long life. And the years of thy life shall be increased. So the Most High will increase your years if you turn to him and you fear him. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself. But if thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear it. Let's carry on. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. right? Clamorous just means loud, right? A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. For she sitteth at the door of her house on a seat in the high places of the city to call passengers who go right on their ways. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. And as for him that wanted understanding, she saith to him, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. Right, so it's just basically saying a foolish woman is a loud woman, and she does really stupid things, right? So let's go back to 13. A foolish woman is clamorous, meaning loud. She is simple and knoweth nothing. So if a foolish woman is normally loud and she normally knows nothing, she's simple, meaning she has no wisdom whatsoever. She has no knowledge, no understanding, no wisdom. But she sitteth at the door of her house. So this is the characteristic of a foolish woman. It doesn't mean all foolish women do that, but it's a characteristic of a whorish, stupid loudmouth. Right? But she sitteth at the door of her house on the seat in the high places of the city to call passengers who go right on their ways. Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither. And as for him that wanted understanding, she said it to him, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he knoweth not that the dead are there, and that her guests are in the depths of hell. Right, so this is basically a whorish woman, right? So that's one characteristic of a foolish woman, is a whore, right? So that's Proverbs. Let's now go to Psalms. So we're going to go to Psalms 7:11. So we're basically dealing with a few characteristics where in the Bible it talks about fear of the Lord, right? Just to get a picture of what fearing the Lord is, because very often when people say fear the Lord, people get this idea it means that you're so scared. It's like you're watching a horror movie and you're so scared all the time and you're trembling the whole time. No, that's not what it's talking about. Fearing the Lord meaning being conscious that the Lord is there. He's looking over you. He is protecting you. He's keeping you. He's monitoring you, and he is making sure that you are staying righteous, doing the right thing. And he's monitoring you to make sure that you are staying on top of righteousness so that you do good on this earth, right? Because this whole life on this earth is a test. It's an endurance test, right? You either fail or you pass at the end of it, right? So this whole kingdom, this current kingdom, is a test, right? Life on this earth really is a test. The only time the test is finished for Israel is when Christ returns. Now, when Christ returns, that's when your endurance is finished. Now, the real deal starts for Israel, right? And now we can deal with the nations, right? So, we're on Psalms 7:11. So, God judgeth the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. Right, so, God judgeth the righteous, and God is angry with the wicked every day. So the Lord will constantly look in the realms of your heart to see what's going on in there. And if you're righteous, he will judge you for being righteous. He would judge you for being righteous, and he would say, that's a good woman. That's a good man. He's a righteous man. He's like Job. He knows how to carry himself, and he wants to do good. He doesn't want to do evil here on this earth. And God is angry with the wicked every day. So he loves the righteous. He judges everybody, whether you're rich, whether you're righteous or wicked, but he will always judge the righteous to be good. He would always give a good judgment to the righteous, right? But God is angry with the wicked every day. If you're wicked, it means that you're disobedient. You do not obey God. It's as simple as that. It doesn't mean that you go around, killing people, or you go around doing the most heinous things to other people. It doesn't necessarily, well, obviously that's wicked too, but wickedness simply means being disobedient, right? So if you're disobedient to the Most High, it means that you're a very wicked person, right? Because disobedience, if you're an Israelite, because the Lord is dealing with the nation of Israel, right? If you're an Israelite, we are supposed to represent the righteousness of the earth. We are supposed to be the saints, the judges, the priests of the earth, the rightful owners of the earth, right? So when Christ returns, we are going to go back up to being the rulers of the earth, but in righteousness, right? In righteousness, right? So he will judge you, and if you're wicked, if you're disobedient, he will judge you for that, right? So let's now we're going to stay in Psalms, but we're going to go to 34. So we're going to go to Psalms 34:7. The angel of the Lord encompasseth round them that fear him and delivered them. Let's say it again. The angel of the Lord encompasseth round about them that fear him and delivered them. Right? So everybody is assigned an angel. Right? So when you're born, you're assigned an angel, and that angel follows you around. Now, obviously, if you're a righteous person, you will get a righteous angel. You know, you get an angel that is busy looking over you, is busy protecting you. You know, in everybody's life, the Lord is always there looking over them to see which path they're going to take. Now, obviously, the Lord knows who he's chosen and who's gonna call. So obviously, to get them on his side, he will have angels there just directing their steps along the way, right? Taking care of them, protecting them, and making sure nothing bad happens to them. And if anything bad happens to them, it's a learning experience so that they can do better, right? So the Bible is saying here in Psalms 34:7, the angel of the Lord encompasseth round about them that fear him. So if you fear him, you have a good angel over your life and delivered them, right? So that angel will always be protecting you if you fear the Lord. That's the Lord's protection over your life. So let's now we're going to stay in Psalms, and we're going to go to Psalms 119-20. Okay, so thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth. So it's Psalms 119-120. Thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore I love thy testimonies. My flesh troubleth for fear of thee, and I am afraid thy judgments. Let's read it again. Thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore I love thy testimonies. Right, so the Most High puts away all the wicked of the earth. Right. I tell you what, let's read from 113. Okay, to get a feel of what those scriptures are saying. So we're going to read from 113 all the way to 120. I hate vain thoughts, but thy law do I love. Thou art my hiding place and my shield. I hope in thy word. Depart from me, ye evildoers, for I will keep the commandments of my God. Uphold me according unto thy word, that I may live, and let me not be ashamed of my hope. Hold thou me up, and I shall be safe, and I have respect unto my statutes continually. Thou hast trodden down all them that err from my statutes, for their deceit is falsehood. Thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore I love thy testimonies. My flesh trembleth for fear of thee, and I am afraid of thy judgment. So let's go back up to 113. I hate vain thoughts, and thy law do I love. So this is King David writing, and he's saying, I hate vain thoughts, but thy law I love, right? So King David was very special to the Most High. He had the Most High's own heart, right? I hate vain thoughts, but thy law do I love. So David loved the law. Thou art my hiding place and my shield. I hope in thy word. Depart from me, ye evildoers, for I will keep the commandments of my God. Right? So he's saying, depart from the evildoers, but he will keep the commandments of God. Right? So it's good to surround yourself with righteous people who are also doing the same, so that they encourage you to do the same thing. Uphold me according unto thy word, that I may live, and let me not be ashamed of my hope. Hold thou me up, and I shall be safe, and I will have respect unto thy statutes continually. Thou hast trodden down all them that err from thy statutes, for their deceit is falsehood. Thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore I love thy testimonies. So basically obeying the Most High was obeying the law back then. My flesh trembleth for fear of thee, and I am afraid of thy judgments. Right? So King David is saying that he is afraid of the Most High's judgment, right? And he has a fear. His fear of the Most High means that he trembles at the fear of the Most High, right? And I am afraid of thy judgments. Now, fearing the Most High doesn't mean that you spend your life, in fear, like everything you do, you're scared, oh, I'm going to be judged for this. Oh, I'm definitely going to be judged for that. No, not that type of fear and trembling. No, when you're about to do something which is wicked, of course it's gonna make you scared. If you got in a situation where you could take the righteous way or the sinful way, you could do the wrong thing or the right thing. Obviously, you're going to be like trembling because you're tempted. Right? And temptation in itself makes you weak, but you have to be strong because you fear the Most High. So you tremble at the thought of the Most High because that fear in itself makes you think, if I make a bad decision, then it means the Most High will hold me for it, right? Because the Bible says, whatsoever you sow, you reap, right? The problem with a lot of Christians, a lot of so-called God-fearing people, is that they don't believe that whatsoever you sow, you reap. Whatsoever you sow, you reap. Now, you may not reap it now, but along the way, you will reap it. And if you do the same sin so many times, the Lord will hold you down for it. It doesn't matter how many prayers you say to, oh, Lord, forgive me, oh, Lord. The Lord knows when you're just, he knows when you're just trying it on, right? He knows it, right? He knows when you're just BSing him, right? He knows when you're doing that, right? Because we are supposed to stay as righteous as possible, right? And we are supposed to flee sin as much as possible. And we'll leave that one there, right? So the trembling that King David was talking about is when you are put in a situation where you have to make a choice. And obviously, as a king, you do not want to make the bad decisions, because as a king, it's a great responsibility. It's a huge responsibility. Equivalent of a king would be a president or prime minister of a country, a head of a country. That's equivalent to being a king, right? So constantly you have to make the right decision. So I suppose that's what King David was talking about, right? So let's now change course a little bit, and we are going to go into the Apocrypha. And we are going to go to, so we're going to go into the Apocrypha now, and we're going to go to Sirach 1. Sirach just means ecclesiasticus, right? Ecclesiasticus, not ecclesiastes, but ecclesiasticus, right? It is often called Sirach, right? Written by the prophet Sirach, right? So we're going to go to Sirach 1:27. So we're going to go to the very first chapter, which is Sirach 1:27. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom, and instruction and faith and meekness are his delight. Distrust not the fear of the Lord when thou art poor, and come not unto him with a double heart. Right? Let's continue. Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so God discover thy secrets, and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, because thou camest not in truth to the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit. So it's Sirach 1 from 27 to 30. So let's read up again. So I tell you what, let's read from 26. So Sirach 1:26. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord shall give her unto thee. Right? So wisdom means if you desire wisdom, you have to keep the Lord's commandments. The commandments is in the Old Testament would have been primarily Moses and the prophets, and in the New Testament it is Christ and the prophets, right? but Christ being the head priest, the high priest, right? So he is the one that is giving us the law in a new covenant, right? So let's read 26 again. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord shall give her unto thee. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom, and instruction, and faith, and meekness are his delight, right? So wisdom and instructions and faith and meekness are his delight. So when you have faith in the Most High, you're not scared thinking, oh, I wonder if God exists. No, you're not. You're not like that. You have faith in the Most High. So you're not sitting at home being scared because something has happened and, and it has put you in a situation where you're stressed, right? So you keep the faith, and meekness are his delight. So you are a meek person, approachable person. Trust not the fear of the Lord the fear of the Lord when thou art poor. So you don't distrust the fear of the Lord. So you don't lose your faith in the Most High. And come not unto him with a double heart. Don't come to him thinking, oh, I'm poor. So that means, I can do what I want because I'm poor. I have to do whatever I have to do to survive. I'm poor. Be not a hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest, right? Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so God discover thy secrets and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, because thou comest not in truth to the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit, right? So that's another characteristic of the fear of the Lord, right? So let's now go to Ecclesiastes. So we're now going to go into the Old Testament, and we're going to go to Ecclesiastes, and we're going to read 8, and we're going to read from 11 to 13. So, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set on them to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and in his days he prolonged, yet surely I know that I shall be well with them that fear the Lord, which fare before him. But I shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he fareth not before God. Right? So let's read 11 again. This is a very profound few verses. I love these verses. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. So if you've done something really, really wicked, you know better than to do that evil act that you did. Extremely evil. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set on them to do evil, right? So you know that being wicked, being evil, is disobeying the Most High. And you know better. You know better than to do that wicked act that you did. So it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set on them to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and in his days he prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Lord, which fare before him. So it's saying, though you're a sinner, so though a sinner do evil, 100 times, that's many, many times, and his days be prolonged, and his days, nothing seems to be affecting him, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Lord, which fare before him. So it's saying, surely it'll be good with them, just as it's good with those that fear the Lord. But it shall not be well with the wicked. The scripture is saying it won't be well with the wicked. Neither shall he prolong his days. So your days won't be prolonged. So you can fool yourself into thinking, oh, it's been such a long time since I did that wicked thing, and the Lord hasn't done anything to me, so I'll be fine. No, he said, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow. So your days are already short as it is, and the Lord is not going to prolong it, because he fareth not before God, right? Because you didn't fear the Lord, right? So people do wicked things to other people. They know better than to do the wickedness that they've done. And they say, well, hey, nothing seems to be happening to me. I'm fine. I'm good. But no, the Lord said that your days won't be prolonged, and they're already short as it is, because it says they're a shadow, because he fareth not before God. So he says, so God is saying that his protection is not going to be around your life. His angel, his good angel, would not be there protecting you, because everybody's assigned an angel when they're born. His good angel will not be there protecting you. Right? So we are to flee evil, and evil is disobedience. That's simply what it means. Right? So when you get married to someone, right? You get married to a man. Let's do it both ways. So if you get married to a man and you say, oh, well, I'm going to be the best wife ever, the best wife you've ever known, you know, and you've had discussions with your wife, you've been to counseling before you got legally married to her, you know, you've signed a contract to be with her, and she's convinced you, yeah, I'll be the best ever. And then you get married to this woman, and this woman doesn't submit. She doesn't submit. She's messy. She's horrible, nasty. You're not allowed to say anything. If you say anything, she gets angry. She overtalks you. She's loud, and she dresses like a whore, right? Now, in the Christian church encourages that type of lifestyle because they don't teach against it. They don't give you the sense of accountability in the Christian church, right? So she may continue claim that she's saved all day or night. I'm saved. But she doesn't submit to you. She doesn't do the simplest things that most wives have to do. That's a wicked thing. That's evil, right? That's evil because the Bible says marriage is honorable, not this. And if you bring dishonor onto marriage, the Most High is going to get you back for that, because marriage is the most important institution that God instituted at the beginning of the Bible. He said, be fruitful and multiply, right? So you're bringing dishonor into marriage. So therefore, that's a wicked act. And it's the same way the other way around. If you marry a man and, you know, he said he's going to take care of you, this, that, and the other, and then when you get married to him, he's a lion in the house. He behaves like a dictator, an evil dictator. You know, he doesn't take care of the children. He doesn't provide for his household. He sits around. He spends a lot of time with his friends. He drinks. He smokes. You know, generally not a good head, right? That's wicked, right? That is very wicked. But yet still he's proclaiming that he knows the Most High, and he's now an Israelite. You know, he knows he's an Israelite, but yet still he's still conducting himself in a worldly way, right? That's wicked, right? Now, the Most High, your life might be good. It may not have changed, but eventually it will catch up to you. That's what this scripture is saying, right? Even though the heart of the sons of men is fully set on them to do evil, though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know it shall be well with them that fear God, which fare before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked. It shall not go well with the wicked, neither shall be prolonged. He should prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he fareth not before God. So we are to fear the Most High so that we are covered in every single angle. Right, so we are going to go to we're just going to do two more because I don't want a super long video. So we're going to go to Galatians. So we're now going to go to Galatians 6, and we're going to read from 7 to 8. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. So let's read it again. Be not be deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So if you sow wickedness, evilness, disobedience, rebelliousness, you will reap it. For he that soweth to his flesh, if you sow to your own wickedness, the flesh means that you're not sowing to the Spirit. The Spirit means the Most High, right? The Holy Spirit. You're sowing to your own flesh, your own desires, shall of the flesh reap corruption. So you will reap wickedness. But he that soweth to the Spirit, if you sow to the Most High, the Most High's commandments, shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. So the Most High will give you life everlasting. Okay? So the Most High will give you life everlasting. Right, so let's go to Malachi 3. So we're going to thunderbolt Malachi 3, and we are reading 16 to 17. Then they that fear the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that fear the Lord. So the book of remembrance would be the books, the judgment on Judgment Day, right? For them that fear the Lord, and that thought upon his name, and they shall be mine, said the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. That's a very, very crucial verse. Let's read it again. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. So the Most High will hear it. He's keeping a record of your conduct here on earth. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that fear the Lord, right? So those that fear the Lord, and that thought upon his name, so those that were righteous. And they shall be mine, said the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, right? So when he makes up his jewels will be on the day when he's going to put you either in heaven or in hell. And they shall be mine, said the Lord of hosts, in that day when I make up my jewels, when he makes up his king, sets up his government, sets up his people as being as the top nation, right? And I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. So if you serve the Most High, means you being obedient to the Most High, and you exaltate his name, his word, then he will be faithful to you. He will spare you, right? He will spare you from going into the lake of fire, or going into hell, Hades, or the lake of fire, right? So let's go to Revelations for the very final scripture. So we're going to go to Revelations 11, and we're going to read 18. So we're going to purchase the same point that we just read. And the nations were angry, and their wrath is come, and the time of the dead, and they shall be judged. And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Right? So this is on Judgment Day, when the Lord is now making his final judgments, right? To who's going to go into heaven or hell, or who's going to be regenerated back into the kingdom, or go into the kingdom of heaven, or is going to go into an eternal hell, right? Now, the nations are not going to be accepted in the kingdom, right? So the nations are not going to be given rulership, right? So let's read 18 again. And the nations were angry. They're angry because Israel is going to be given salvation, right? Salvation means rulership, means power. And their wrath is come, so their anger has come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, right? So dead means spiritually, literally dead, and also those that were dead spiritually, right? And those that were dead physically, right? That they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants. Who is the servants? Israelites. The prophets are the Israelites. And to the saints are the Israelites. And them that fear the Lord. Who fears the Lord? The Lord is only dealing with Israel right now. Small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So if you've destroyed the earth, right, i.e. if you're a sinner, then and shouldest destroy them that which destroy the earth. So the Lord is going to destroy those that destroy the earth. Let's carry on to 19. And the temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and a great hail. Okay, right. So salvation is only going to be given to Israel, because the Lord has only been dealing with the nation of Israel. Now in the kingdom, when Christ returns and the Most High has set up his nation, as he calls it, his jewels, we will now, hopefully I'll be in the kingdom too, Most High is willing, I'll be there, I'll be right there too. We as a nation will now deal with the nations. So it's now their turn to be sifted, right, to the final judgment, right? Now, Brothers and sisters, I hope you were truly edified. I tried my best to go through fear of the Lord, and I hope you were truly edified by that. Shalom.